A disenfranchised housewife named Echa, frustrated over the lack of sex in her marriage, takes comfort in her nightly sexy dreams where a good-looking man instantly seduces her. Desperate to fix her crumbling marriage, Echa and her husband Ariel rekindle a spark, and a few days later she mysteriously falls pregnant. But her dreams are actually a jinn who preys on weak housewives, and he may be responsible for her pregnancy. Along with her best friend, Echa and her husband consult a religious leader for assistance. Now, I'm not going to be kind to this movie, so if you're here for positive vibes only, well, you're going to be very disappointed. In fact, it's a long shopping list of the typical Indonesian horror movie tropes that combine together to ruin yet another movie that had excellent potential. So what are those tropes? Well, number one, we've got marriage issues caused by jinns and not shitty partner behavior. 2, as with the previous issue, if the partner was faithful to Allah, all these issues would have been avoided. 3, only an ustaz with his unwavering faith in Allah can save the day. 4, all supernatural stories are based on true stories, and by true stories, they're stories that have been told on Twitter and TikTok. And lastly, in the end, religion wins. Now, almost every mainstream Indonesian horror movie from the past few years has had one or more of those horror tropes put together in them. Now, this movie has all 5 of those tropes. Now, the worst part about that is the first hour of this film is actually quite enjoyable. It's very atmospheric and it's full of a lot of potential. There's some great insight into Echa's marriage and the issues that a normal, busy, married couple would face. And honestly, if that was the story that was told, this would have been a much better film. In fact, in the first hour, we witness some interesting scenes that show a lot of that potential, such as when Ariel, on his first day shift after finding out that Echa is pregnant, he's walking through the car park and he hears the baby cry, only to then be scared by the demon baby. Or how about the scene where Echa's at her job just after she's told everyone about her pregnancy, and she walks into the warehouse to do some inventory checking, and the demon who's controlling her also starts controlling all of her colleagues who start pointing and taunting her. Those 2 scenes, they're really good. But then we end up with those silly exorcism and possession scenes at the end of the film, and an ending that kind of hints that the jinn is not completely out of Echa's life. Well, you know, of course it's not. Nothing's going to stop her from having naughty, sexy dreams if she enjoys them, right? The real kicker is at the end of the movie, where there's an interview with the real Echa talking about what happened to her. Now, it must be great when you can blame every problem with your marriage on jinns or spirits or something supernatural, and not the fact that people are just shitty sometimes, and sometimes you just pick the wrong life partner. I mean, religion doesn't solve everything. Also, what's with that really uncomfortable self-abortion scene in the film? Now, if I was only going to rate the first hour of the film, then it would be a solid 3, potentially pushing into 4 ghost territory, but then that final third kicked in. And so, using my patent pending ghost rating, which stands for great horror or stupid trash, this movie only gets 2 ghosts, and I think it struggles to get those 2 ghosts. It's only for the solid first hour that really saves any part of this movie. That last hour is just, well, I fell asleep. That's how utter crap it was. That, you know, yet another possession, yet another exorcism scene, yet another blah, blah, blah. You get the hint. If you've been watching these reviews about all the latest Indonesian horror movies, you know it's just all the same carbon copy crap. And to be honest, what happened to all the creativity? What happened to just having fun with horror movies? The last kind of great batch of horror movies I can remember, the Doll 3, Ivana, I want to say Satan Slaves 2, but even that had religion, so I kind of can't say that as an example, but still, like, Where have all the good Indonesian horror movies gone? Anyway, I'm the Artie Dans. You are watching Shockmania. Thank you so much for tuning in. And sorry this wasn't more positive, but the responses to this film are a bit split online. Seems that a lot of people actually really like this. So I'm kind of curious to know in the comments below what you thought of it. Otherwise, like, subscribe, all that other jazz, and I'll catch you next time.